busted. ABC ready to fire Behar as shocked audience reports she broke the law, by Rebecca DeCirio for Entertainment Politics for MadWorldNews.com. Joy Behar, the controversial co-host of ABC's The View, is facing a nightmare of her own, making shocking reports coming out of ABC. Says the producers are discussing firing her after she broke the law on air. The View defines itself as a news program, even though Big Mouth Behar constantly reports untruths, but this time she got caught saying something so inflammatory on air that it's causing a crisis for ABC. Joy Behar has been off the hook for the last 2 weeks. She was facing the wrath of millions of Americans after she made her now infamous hit at Vice President Mike Pence and Christians. It's one thing to talk about Jesus. It's another thing when Jesus talks to you. That's called mental illness. If I'm not correct, hearing voices, she said, during the program on February 13th, but that's not the inflammatory statement that is potentially ending her time on The View, even though it is contributing to her downfall. 2 weeks later, on February 27th, the loudmouth host went on a rant about CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Committee that meets once a year for a weekend convention. ABC News' The View host Joy Behar went after CPAC on Monday, claiming the conservative conference's participants have a penchant for Nazis. While the talk show panel posted that the GOP is making life difficult for Republican women, Fox News reports. The CPAC group invited this woman from France named Marine Le Pen, whose father was a Holocaust denier and the total fascist, and a Nazi, Behar said, adding that his daughter thought was a very good and right. Behar rambled on. There's this like penchant for Nazis now among conservatives. You know, the Charlottesville and the Neos, and they're good guys on both sides. And now Marine Le Pen. Wow, when you call someone a Nazi and they are a major politician in France, you better make sure they are really a Nazi. Joy Behar broke the law calling Marine Le Pen a Nazi, as she also claimed everyone at CPAC was a Nazi lover. ABC is now feeling the heat as potential lawsuits could be in the works. Wow.
Also made the point that the CPAC group invited this woman from France named Marine Le Pen, whose father was a Holocaust denier and a total fascist and a Nazi. And Marine Le Pen, the daughter, thinks her father was very good and right and everything else, and they invited her. There's this like penchant for Nazis now, you know, with Charlottesville and the Neos, and they're good guys on both sides, and now Marine Le Pen. It's like a lot of the people in the Republican Party that I remember, Bill Buckley, who fought in World War II, you know, Bill Kristol, those people who are so anti-Nazi are appalled by what's going on right now within this party.
But there are also people like Pat Buchanan. Like there's a, like I think, first of all, I have many things, but I'm just saying there were figures in the Republican Party for a long time that have been controversial. CPAC speakers going back a long time. Last year there was a whole controversy over Milo Yiannopoulos being invited. Sebastian Gorka was invited this year. Al Cardenas, who's an immigration opponent. Only one sitting U.S. senator ended up speaking at CPAC. Regarding the video we just showed, there's a woman sitting next to her in the white dress. She's actually a friend of mine named Kelsey Harkness, and I wish what she said was getting as much attention as what Mona said. She said, clearly this conversation was long overdue. I don't blame conservatives and conservative women for being skeptical and proceeding with caution. And I think I echo what she's saying, that we're in this weird place where just because there's a lot of things Trump does and says that are extremely incendiary, he only has 29%, according to CNN, support among women in general. That doesn't mean that all my conservative ideals I believe in and the tenets that my life surrounds have gone out the window.
Well, that's why people like you speak up and you're exactly. And that's the thing.
What a crock. That's all I have to say. Marine Le Pen lost the last presidential election in France by a very slim margin. because there was voter fraud involved. Why you think she lost? She would have won hands down. It was voter fraud. She is popular and very well respected politician around the world. She has been estranged from her father for years over her anti-Semitic statements and disgusting views on the Holocaust. Not only that, but it was Marine Le Pen herself who expelled her father from France's National Front Party on August 20th, 2015, the BBC reported. Adding to the 75-year-old Behar's problem, the Media Research Center, MRC, is carrying out a major campaign to get her fired. Or, if that doesn't work, push The View off the air for good. Of course, Christian groups are joining the campaign against The View and Big Mouth Behar. Christian groups are joining a campaign to hold ABC's The View accountable after co-host Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin made derogatory comments about Vice President Mike Pence's Christian faith, reports the Christian Broadcast Network. MRC supporters have made more than 30,000 calls to ABC demanding the network apologize for the latest comments, and several faith leaders said it's time to hit them where it hurts. What does that mean? Shut them down by going after the advertisers who support the show. Make no mistake about it, this is an assault on the sensibilities of all Christians. Bill Donahue, president of the Catholic League for Religious and Civil Rights, wrote, "No advertiser can justify supporting this show any longer." When Joy Behar and others mock the faith of Mike Pence and they are using him as a stand-in for the rest of us in Middle America, it is outrageous, said Gary Bauer of the conservative group American Values. Such bigotry against the values of millions of Americans should not be tolerated by ABC. A simple fix by ABC would be to fire the one person who is clearly the problem, Joy Behar, since it categorizes itself as a news program and not a talk show where Behar spews lies like Marine Le Pen is a Nazi and conservatives have a penchant for Nazis. It falls to ABC to make sure those statements are true. If not, they are open to all kinds of lawsuits for slander and defamation of character. Joy's not spouting opinion with those statements. She is presenting them as facts. And that's why ABC is considering that firing her may be the way to go. Loudmouth Behar was caught reporting a huge lie on air about General Michael Flynn on March 23rd, and she was made to correct it on the next show. So this isn't the first rodeo for Behar spouting untruths. My fellow Americans, we may be finally on the eve of saying goodbye and good riddance to Joyless. Let's hope ABC sees her as a total lying liability and they can no longer afford to put her on live TV. Well, look, you know, I just say shut them off, you know what I'm saying? But it's, you know, I report on this because it's good to know what's going on out there with the liberals, you know, so you know who you're, you know, what's going on to be able to, you know, stand up to this kind of crap, you know, because, you know, she's still, you know, the audience still watches her. So I don't know how this show is still on the air. It's beyond me at this point, but I'd like to know who's backing it up, who's paying, you know. It can't be just the advertisers. I mean, I think she's a mouthpiece for George Soros. That's what I'm thinking. The liberal nut jobs on the left, so to speak. But, you know, how could she be on the air when she's talking about more than half the population who are Christian and she's dissing them? You know, I think it's time for the people to say, listen, enough is enough. Because other religions wouldn't stand for this, and you know who I'm talking about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.